when we talk about aircraft accidents, 80% or 90% are human error. So, there's so much of the human involved in understanding how do I secure my company, how do I secure my the crown jewels of what our intellectual property. And it's really not, can I hire X company to put this, exquisite security system in? In a lot of ways, it's the people that you hire to come into the company. So, that scenario of, hey, I'm looking at on LinkedIn, this person comes from China. They're, clearly their family's in China, which means the Chinese Communist Party has the ability to exert control over them, and yet they're in a key position in my company. Is that something that comes up in what you're working on, and how does that usually play out when you if you do talk to the companies that you do business with?
Yeah, it definitely comes out because it's you mentioned China, but obviously there's brain drain going to other countries as well, especially. And we saw that play out fairly recently in the news, where it was Tesla. One of the individuals in Tesla was offered a decent chunk of change to plug in a USB drive from somebody from a foreign country and a foreign entity, and to their credit, like serious credit, they actually said no, they didn't do it, and they reported it, and they actually ended up getting a sting operation going with the agency. That's huge. And I think, again, that comes into a risk profile. We still think of risk as digital risk. We still think of risk in the old days of, did I lock my front door? Unfortunately, what tends to happen is when we bring people inside a company, we automatically assume that they're good people. We've forgotten this whole problem about insider trading, about insider situations. Again, go back to the First World and Second World War. The whole loose lips sink ships mentality is who has to know, needs to know, and should know. Right, those are the only people that need to know. And by the way, I know I can trust you because not only have I done a background, but I know your friends and your family. I know where they are. I know the influences on them, and therefore I'm okay with it because I've done my due diligence. We don't do that so much. And unfortunately, it's a tough one because it's a balance, because there is some amazing technology coming out of other countries that we do need to leverage and we do need to work with, but we need to do it with open eyes. We've done it for years. We've done it for years with India, and we start looking at where all the data, where all the intellectual property is going between those two countries. China being another perfect example. You look at stuff in Germany, the Soviet, or Russia, not Soviet Union, you look at those necks of the woods and go, I'm happy to work with you, I'm happy to bring you in, and I'm happy to deal with the projects, but please understand as I do this, just the same that you would do with me if I went to your country, I would want to do more due diligence. I would want to understand more what potential risks I'm bringing in. That's you and I, and we preach that to a lot of the companies we deal with, but again, so many people don't think that way.
Yeah, and so you brought up something here that just absolutely infuriates me, because you brought up the Tesla issue. Tesla, so that person fessed up, but there is somebody that Tesla has sued for stealing their self-driving car data. By the way, also an Apple engineer tried to do the same thing with their self-driving car technology. The same company that is accused of having people that bring that technology to him, Xpeng, Xpeng, I don't know if you've heard about it, just got $1.5 billion on the New York Stock Exchange in an IPO. And I'm like, these guys are stealing technology, and Wall Street is IPOing them, and that $1.5 billion doesn't go to the company, it goes to the PBOC, the People's Bank of China. This is the problem with our country right now that I see, and it pertains to the entire free world.